How's it going, everybody? My name is Lucian. In today's video, we're going to be continuing the Home Lab series. In this video, we are going to be setting up SearXNG, which is our own private search engine that doesn't track you or feed you ads. So in our last video, we set up Portainer. This is our local environment here. And if we click on containers, you can see right now we have nothing. We have the Portainer container, which is the web UI that we're using right now. So first thing that we're going to want to do is go to our GitHub. The link will be down in the description below. This is our stack that we're going to be using, but I want to create this network right here, this proxy.net or proxy dash net. So we're going to go to our Portainer, click on networks, click on add network, just paste that in there, and then leave everything as default. It'll assign the subnet and IP range automatically, and hit create. So this is going to be mainly for a future video. I do want to show how to set up Nginx for those who might have a domain name and want to use like a domain to access some of their services instead of using IP addresses. And I'm going to be using that network. So I'm just going to set it up now, and then in a later video when we set up that service, the network will already be set up for us. So if we go back to our GitHub and copy this. This is our stack for our SearXNG. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. It doesn't need to be too complex. So in order to deploy it, we're going to go back to Portainer and click on stacks. We're going to add a new stack, and we can call this SearXNG. And then we're just down here. We're just going to paste this in. We are going to change a couple things. Since for right now, we do not have Nginx set up or any other kind of server, proxy manager set up. So we're going to be using the IP address. In our case, we're going to be using the IP address of the server, which in my case is this IP address. If you're in a different time zone, of course, change your time zone. And then once we actually deploy, if for those who have a domain and want to go that route, once you set up a proxy manager, we can actually get rid of this port here. But for now, I wanted to leave out all of this in here because I know not everyone owns a domain. So for those who don't, you just gotta deal with doing IP addresses, which is totally fine, honestly. I mean, unless you want it to be publicly accessible, or you don't want to do you don't want to type in the IPs every time. But I mean, if you just bookmark it after you create it, you don't have to type it in. So once we set up our base URL, we'll leave everything else as default. For my case, again, like I said, if you're in a different time zone, change it to your time zone. And once we have that, we're just going to click deploy stack, and just like that, it's deployed. So if we go back to containers here, you can see we have SearXNG running, and it is running on 8080. So if we open up a new tab, go to our server's IP address, and then 8080, hit enter, we have our own search engine, just like that. And then, like I said, if you want to bookmark it, like if you don't have a domain, you can easily just bookmark this, and then you just click on your bookmarks, which mine are hidden. I think it's, what is it? All right, so now since it's bookmarked, you can just click up here and that'll take you to it. Now, one thing with this is that it is a little slower. My response rates are usually about 1 second, but it pulls from a bunch of search engines, and we can access the preferences here, the preferences. So here you have, your general stuff. If you go to engines, you can see what engines it uses, what search engine it uses. A bunch of search engines. You can turn on and off search engines on what engine you want it to use, depending on what you're searching on. So general images, if you want, videos, you can turn on and off all these things depending on what engine you want it to use. You got your privacy settings here, and all these settings are basically saved like in your cookies, so you don't have to do it every time. So once you set all that stuff up, let's do how to set up a server on Windows. So you can see here, yeah, so well, that time was 2.7 seconds, but if I click on videos, There we go. Here's a couple of videos. So this response time was a lot quicker, 9 seconds. Yeah, see now it's getting quicker. Once it builds up a cache, it starts it'll respond quicker. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's super simple, super easy. And then let's say close this. It's like, oh man, I want to search something again. Boom, you're here. So that's pretty easy. Now you have your own search engine that uses a bunch of other engines without the tracking or ads. And that's gonna be the end of this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.